Isis. Indeed, it's a good morning. Uh, Welcome to our listeners once again to St. Andrew's South Beat. It is a good morning. We have lost some, we have gained some. They spoke about the birth rate going down. I mentioned we have lost some and we have gained some, but statistic is not showing that we have gained much. We've lost a very good person, a child rights activist. We have lost a great person, and Gramps Morgan would say, "There's a place up there for people like you." And we have lost Betty Ann Blaine, who died, and I'm sure that our team song, as it relates to people like you, would go to this lovely lady who I have had the opportunity to interview on the St. Andrew's South Beat twice, if I remember clearly. And she was always willing and ready to advocate for our children. And we have lost a great person. But one of my belief is the circle of life, and that's how it is, really, because none of us will be here forever. That's one of the things that I have learned and still learning, that there's going to be a day when I have to go. And I'm not sure of the day, the date, and the time. Because if we all knew the day, the date, and the time, then we would do some things different. Even with persons who have committed suicide, maybe I don't think it's something that sometimes it just happened. So they didn't plan that they were going to do it on May 15, May 16. It just tend to happen. So they didn't have any day, date, and time for death. And to her family, we send condolences to her family wherever they are. And it's not easy to lose a loved one. And from the Jamaica Constabulary Force itself and Roots 96.1 FM, we want to say condolences to her family who is mourning her death at this time. I knew she was ill because she told me, but I didn't expect her to go. I expect her to recover and come back and serve her children. She's always looking out for the future. But Gramps would say, there's a place up there for people like you. And I believe that with every fiber of my being. And with that said, we are saying good morning to the St. Andrew's South Division. And remember, if you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. So that's a thought for today that you can meditate upon, that take some time out to give some love and affection today's date to anyone that you pass by on the road. Take some time out to look at them and show some love today's date. You never know, a kind word to someone can heal their pain. And always remember that that is important, especially when you see the police on the street, because we have a rough job ahead of us. So a kind word is always important to us. No matter how you look at it, it's good to say just a kind word, even one word, good morning, too. That will help. Good morning to our listeners, and welcome to the program St. Andrew's South Beat, right here on Roots 96.1 FM. I'm your host this morning, Tanya Lane, Sergeant of the Police. The St. Andrew's South Beat is a special program designed to explore issues affecting the St. Andrew's South Division. Each week we'll be focusing on breaking the barriers of several issues affecting our division and the citizens. Today's program aimed to spread awareness on trafficking, human trafficking. We're going to talk about human trafficking and some of the things that are happening with our people. You can listen live on rootsjamaica.com. Go follow us on Facebook at Roots FM Jamaica. Follow us on Instagram at Roots96.1 FM Jamaica. And on Twitter at Roots_96FM. You can also send your text and WhatsApp messages to 876-225-9478 and share your thoughts on today's discussion. The program is brought to you by New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices. Always the best prices. We're gonna look at what we talk about, which is trafficking, human trafficking, and some of the things that we should do and not do, and some of the things that we should look for as it relates to that aspect of human trafficking, and that is extremely important for us, and what it is that we are going to see within the St. Andrews South space, some of the things that happening and how human trafficking helped the Jamaica Constabulary Force establish the CTOC, which is the Counter Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch. This branch was a merge between the Flying Squad and the Organized Crime Investigation Division that they used to call OCID. So both were combined to get CTOC, which is the section that deals with human trafficking. That's one of the crime that they look at. CTOC strengthen the country's security framework to effectively combat terrorism and organized crime in all forms. So that's what they really do. And human trafficking, really, some persons wonder what is human trafficking. So it's a human trafficking is the recruitment of transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of people through force, fraud, or deception, with the aim to exploiting them for profit. Men, women, and children of all ages and from all backgrounds can become victims of this crime, which occur in every region of the world. So, in other words, human trafficking, it can be done with male, female, whether adults or children, and it's a force that you're asked to do it by force. At its most basic form, human trafficking is the buying and selling of people. Ultimately, human trafficking is an industry, and it profits from the exploitation of people. So it's a business for some people, and then other people get hurt in that business. So it's a business where the CEO of the business, the workers of the business get a profit, but other people get hurt, seriously hurt. So we're going to talk about that aspect of it. What is human trafficking? That's a question. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking, otherwise known as modern slavery, involves the use of force, fraud, or to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act against the will of the person. Against the will of the person. The traffickers may use violence, manipulation, or false promises of well-paying jobs or romantic relationship to lure the victim into being trafficked. Trafficking victims including all of the men, women, boys, girls, etc. So in other words, what they're saying is you get a call and they're saying to you, oh, we have a job for you. You're gonna work at a restaurant in Barbados or any other country for that matter, in New York, in the UK, anywhere. They say you're gonna get a job. So you're young, you're young and you really want a job. You really want a job. You're not working. You're at home and you're young and you have experience in the kitchen. You have experience in that area. So they use areas that they think you may have experience. You have experience. Or you have experience taking care of a child, and they tell you all of that. And then you get excited and they said, oh, you need to get your passport. And they'll even go the extra mile to pay for the passport for you because you're not working, so you can't pay for it. So everything looked real. This is a real deal. You even go to a decent office to sign up, register, to go and get a job, a good job. A job that is either you're going to be working on a ship, you're going to work in a restaurant, you're going to take care of some children, and it all seems so real and favorable in your eyes. And you're not looking beyond that. One of the reasons that you're not doing that, because it's a state of need that you're in. So you look at what is coming or what you're going to get, but not knowing that there's more to it than what is said to you. And that's a form deceptiveness that the traffickers use to explore you to be a part of human trafficking. And I wouldn't even say that it happens only to young people, because or most senior persons it's happened to, but they mostly try with the younger person because they want them for different reasons. And maybe the older person, they really don't need them for some of the reasons that they're going to traffic them for. So you signed up to go to one of those international country or Caribbean country, and you sign up your forms and you fill out and you're excited. You even get money, ship money, the Western Union money or any money to you to take out your passport. To they said if it's cold, they tell you, say, oh, when you come, just wear regular, we have coat for you and everything. And you see a real person that you're talking to via Zoom or otherwise WhatsApp, and it could be a female, look like is a priest for a Catholic church or some churches. So you're convinced that this is real, only to know that upon your arrival of the said location that you go at the airport, you're greeted well by the same look person that you saw, very sincere, look very saintish, and you are so naive to all that is happening until it starts to happen. And it doesn't happen immediately to you, because remember now, what they do to you is put you where you're comfortable, in a comfort zone. So upon arrival, all is well. So you get to call your family and you get to tell them, oh, I arrive and I am well and I am in this nice place, and the bed is a king size bed and it's me alone, but not knowing it's not you alone. What they're doing to you, they have other persons looking at you in that very said room who's going to buy you to do what they want to do. So you're there and you getting ready and you starting having shower and taking off your clothes and all of that, and people are watching you you not knowing, because they're selling you without you knowing. All right. And the next thing you know, they said to you, oh, get ready, we're gonna take you to the location where you're gonna work. So you're getting ready for that location because you got a job and you're happy and you're excited. Upon arrival on the job, you meet your boss. And it's just, you meet your boss and then your boss start talking to you. The next thing you know, it's a different tone that you're getting. A very different tone, one that scares you. One that scares you so much. You because you didn't bargain for this. It's a form of deception. So the next thing that you're going to do when you recognize is that you are going to, and if you don't want to do it by will, then they have method to allow you to do it, which to drug you and allow you to do whatever they want. And these are the things that happens to especially our young girls and boys. What are some examples of human trafficking? The three most common types of human trafficking are sex trafficking, forced labor, and debt bondage. Those are the three main type of human trafficking. Forced labor, even though we smile and seem happy in front of the customer, the truth is that we are quietly suffering. We're quietly suffering. So it's like enslave. It's just you're suffering, and you're looking as if all is well because you're forced to do something, and that is what that is. The sexual exploitation, the victim of sexual exploitation are women and girls most of the time. Most of the time, there are female that they do that aspect of it too. How do I protect our young girls from human trafficking? That's one of the questions that is asked. How do we protect the young girls? We have girls in high school. How do we? How our parents may ask, how is it that we're going to protect them from that? We can tell you some of the things that you can use. You can set a high standard of love within your home. When you set a high standard of love within your home, then your children can come and speak with you about anything and everything. So you have to start setting high standard as it relates to, and it comes with love. Sometimes my young 16-year-old would turn and say to me in the midst of the kitchen, "Oh, I have something to tell you." So I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And she said, "Oh, I have a boyfriend." So in my mind, it's a lucky thing that people can't read mine, because if she read my mind, she would think something is wrong with me. So you use love and wisdom, because that's a big deal for any 16-year-old to come to you and say. So you don't look around and say, "Hey, start." No. You look quietly, you said, "Yeah, okay." And then you leave that, because that conversation is going to be continued. Because really, you don't even know what to say. And one of my things as parent, you say nothing when you are not sure what to say. You say nothing, but you listen, and you gain their trust by listening. And you don't necessarily have to agree with them, but one of the things that you need to do is to listen. And when you meditate upon what is said to you, and you get back to them and you ask questions with love, do not, because you won't, if you respond to them negatively, they're going to do it anyway. So the fact that they're going to do it anyway, let's do it with them. Let's grow with them. And that's one of the things that we have to recognize with our young people. When gain their trust at an early stage, not when they're teenagers. When they're teenagers, they got their own mind and thoughts. So you start gaining their trust from their toddlers. 2, 1, you start bonding with them about things. You start telling them the reason why they need to tell you certain things and not somebody else. I always say that your children should be your friend. And when I say being your friend, I don't mean like they're friends at school where they can chit chat and talk garbage and it's acceptable. No. There's a different types of friendship between parents and children. And I can't explain it because it wasn't taught in university. But it's there. It's there, and that's one of the thing that we need to figure out. How is it that we're going to bond with our children? You start taking them places early. You start taking them to movies. You take them to lunch. Start doing things with them. You shampoo their hair, stuff like that. You take time out with them. You blow dry their hair, as simple as it seems. Those are important things that you bond with your children. So when you see your girls or your girl wash shampooing their hair by themselves, you help them. You help them and you create a bond with them so that they know that you're there for them. Talk to your children about sex trafficking. Don't believe that this is not happening. So I'm not gonna talk to them about this. You have to, because somebody's gonna bring it to their attention. So you must bring it to their attention first, so that when somebody comes to them and say to them, "This is it," then they must know right or wrong. I remember one of my senior and his wife went to a particular place and they saw my daughter. She's 16. And we have to take a break. We'll be right back. This is St. Andrew's South Beat.
If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you.
St. Andrews South, St. Andrews South. Do you want to know what the police is doing for you in serving and protecting you, our valid residents? Then tune in to the St. Andrews South Beats this and every Thursday, 11 a.m. right here on Roots 96.1 FM. Join Commanding Officer Superintendent Kirk Ricketts and the dedicated officers and for St. Andrews South Police who will facilitate your questions and inquiries. That's the St. Andrews South Beat this and every Thursday, 11 a.m. on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city.
Get the real inner city community news and be informed. You can do all that and more on City Beat, Monday to Friday at 12:45 p.m. on Roots 96.1 FM. City Beat puts you in the know and keeps you rocking in a world of knowledge. So let City Beat catch you on Roots 96.1 FM, Monday to Friday at 12:45 for City Beat. City Beat is the pulse of the city, so don't miss it. Monday to Friday at 12:45 p.m. on Roots 96.1 FM.
Let's unite to combat gender-based violence with the Women's Outreach Center Rock. Join us while we cover GBV, I Feel With Business, I Feel With Concern, every Friday at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Roots 96.1 FM, hosted by yours truly, Denise Isis Miller. Together we can create a safer and more empowered world for all. Invest in women. Accelerate progress.
The Ararat Evangelistic Association presents Walk Free here on Roots 96.1 FM in a new time, 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. On Walk Free, you will hear life-changing testimonies, inspirational messages, and music to encourage you. Remember, tune in to Walk Free. Listen every Sunday from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. And if you've missed it, tune in to the rebroadcast on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Tune in and be blessed.
Welcome back once again. This is St. Andrew's South Beat. Remember to call us on 876-225-9478 and share your thoughts in today's discussion. We're on the topic of human trafficking, and of course I was about to tell you about my 16-year-old daughter, and my senior officer and his wife saw her, and the wife said that this is Tanya's daughter. But the husband said, "How could you know that? You haven't seen her for years." So she said, I know she looks the same. So they decide to go over to the 16-year-old girl. They weren't in uniform. They're both police officers. And the wife said, ask her if she's my daughter. And she said no. So the wife asked her again, "Are you sure?" She said no, with her eyes open, looking at her. No. So they told me, and when I got home, I asked her, "You know what?" The 16-year-old turned and looked at me. I said, "Did you tell my police officers that I'm not your mother?" She said, "Yes, I told them that." So I said, "Why would you do that?" You know what? She turned and looked at me and said, They were not in uniform. I don't know them and the job that you do, and they just keep asking me about you and me being your daughter. I thought that was a little bit strange. So that, and I as a police, it never crossed my mind. My senior said to me when I called him and his wife, well trained. Because it never crossed our mind that my older son would say, "Whoa, they would take him," because he would say, "Yes." My son said, "Well, they would have taken me," because he would have said yes. But even when they were saying it to me, I would say, "You sure?" They said yes. So I thought she was denying me, but no, she's absolutely correct. So sometimes how you grow them and train them, the learning is taking place, because I never think for 1 second that she said these two people came up to me. They're not in uniform. They didn't identify themselves. And they're asking me if I'm your daughter, and they're adamant about it. So she said, "Well, let them know." And she said she was adamant too, because she wasn't going to own me right there and then, not knowing who they are, not knowing what they want, and the fact that they weren't wearing uniform, and she have never seen them before, and the job that I am involved in. So you have to train your children properly, because those could be traffickers who's going to take her away. So she knows exactly what to do. And this is the thing that I'm saying. You have to train your children as it relates to what is happening around them. Talk to your children about danger of social media. We give them phones, we give them data, we give them WhatsApp, we give them access to the internet, which is the internet is a world, and it's a dangerous world, because you can get a lot of things from it, good and bad, and you must be able to distinguish between both. And when they go on the internet, because we're not there 24/7 watching their phone, and they see, my daughter would ask for the credit card to buy everything on the internet. Yeah, yes. The bank shut down the credit card, and my son called me to say, find out why the bank shut down the card. So I called the bank, and the bank said to me, I keep buying some game, something. The bank say I keep buying them online. They found that strange. I keep buying some game thing online, and I'm not buying it one time, I'm buying it every hour. So the bank was a little bit concerned that I keep buying, and they probably look at my age and wondering, why am I buying this? So the bank is aware, so they shut it down. So I recognize, so my son said, oh, so I asked my son, how did she get it anyway? My son said, he told her to buy something. So children do what they want, not knowing that it's going to affect you as an adult. So the truth is, he gave it to her, and she just buy. She just decided that she's gonna buy, so she buy what she wants, not knowing that. So that's one of the things that we have to. So I said to her, one of the great thing about her is that she listens. She listens well. So I explained to her the detriments of what financially and otherwise of buying online. The fact that she's gonna run me in bankruptcy, that's one, and the fact that she might lower herself into something that is dangerous and detrimental to her. So she have to be careful of the things that she does. And I explained to her that I won't allow her. Well, I wouldn't give it to her. I don't know why. Maybe it's her older brother who felt sorry for her. So because it's mine, he thought it was okay. I guess it was his. He would not have given it. So, but the reality of it is that we pay attention to our children. We pay attention to the things that they're doing, and how things, because she could go online and somebody traffic her into something different than what she's doing. Somebody tell her, oh, if you buy this, and then they said, which school you go? And she tell them, and they say, all right, I'm gonna bring it to you at the school. And they're so excited to get what they buy, because they pay for it, But this is fraud. There's somebody there, yes, they're using the card, but then they find another way. Oh, I can pick up this person, and then she probably send picture and they like it. So she bought something, genuinely think it is something. So they say, what time school over? And she tell them, say, all right, meet me at the gate and I'll give it to you. By the time she come at the gate, they take her away. So we have to be so careful. It's a wicked world, and our children are naive to this wicked world. They see things for face value, not for what it is. So they it's not. I always tell people that when parents come to the station and they have like a 13, 14, 15-year-old, and they said them wicked, and they start. These are the children. They are not wicked. They don't know. They don't know, and we know, and we're to protect them. They can't make decision. They're still government property, so they can't say yes to certain things. They can't say yes and no to a lot of things. So they can't enter into a contract with anyone. If your 13-year-old go away with a trafficker or a man and get involved, I see parents angry with the children. No, absolutely no. Children see things differently at a certain age, because if I look back, things that you look at when you were 16, 17, 18, now that you're 100, you wonder, what was I thinking? You ask yourself, what was I thinking? Because you see it from a different perspective. If I knew what I know now at age 20, I'll be rich. If I knew half of what I know now in my early teenager stage, I'll be a billionaire. And one of the things we keep saying to our children, we're trying to get them to understand that we have experience, and experiences have taught us wisdom. And that's why we know what is happening. And no matter how hard you try to explain to the generation that is coming certain things, they think that you're old and you don't understand. You understand more than they do, and they're not taking heed of what is happening around them. Trafficking, the traffickers use force to get them in. Sometimes they use fraud to get them in and lure them and force them into things that can hurt them real badly. And we're having challenges in that. If it is that you believe that someone is trafficking your child or your children, you have a responsibility to report it. Other than calling 119 or visit the nearest police station, we have a section, CTALK, that deals with that. It's at down by Central Police Station. It's on that building. Once you go down there, you ask for CTALK. So anything have to do with human trafficking, fraud, people on the internet showing up naked picture of you, all of those things can report to the CTALK section of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that does investigation and those aspects of it. And you have to help us. You have to help us to as we're working together to create better communities and build our Vision 2030. Vision 2030 for making Jamaica the place's choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. So if we want to reach that, we have to report trafficking. If you're experiencing an emergency as it relates to that, remember to call 119. You don't have to have credit. You don't have to have WhatsApp to do that. It's 119 from any type of phone that you have. It is 119. One of the things that I learned, no matter what country you're in, if you dial 119 or 911, you get emergency. I learned that if you're in the States and you dial 119 instead of 911, you still get emergency. If you try it, you still get emergency. So turn it around, you're gonna get a emergency. The traffickers often exhibit the following behavior or characteristic. Always remember that some persons in trafficking, they are very jealous, they are controlling, and violent, significantly older than female companions, promise things that seems too good to be true. So they always make you promises that is so good to be true. And once they start making these promises, then you start believe them. They encourage victims to engage in illegal activities to achieve their goals and dream. So you are young and you have a dream, and they encourage you, but they're telling you there are a different way to get it. So you believe that there is a different way you can get it. So, and then they have it showing you that they have it. So, and they've gotten it by trying this. So you're in the community as a youngster, and they're driving their big bikes and stuff, and you want to do the same, and they're telling you you can get 3 of these bikes if you do this and you do that. And then you're seeing it through their eyes now, and it becomes like a dream that is going to be a reality. But in the end, you end up hurting yourself. So you have to be careful. What they does again is they buy expensive gift or own expensive items, showing you that this is what you're gonna achieve. But they didn't tell you that it comes with consequences. It comes with serious consequences. That part is the fine print that you're not reading. So everything look good, so you take it for granted, and you make yourself, they make the victim feel responsible for their financial stability. So they're very open about financial matters. So you start open about your financial matter, and then they start telling you that you have to make sure if you want to survive, you have to do this, and nobody's gonna help you unless you do that. And they make you feel responsible for making yourself, which is fine. But how do I help myself? They're not telling you to go to school, get a good education, and try this or try that. They're going to give you the way that look easy for you to get out and think that your dream is going to be fulfilled. And the traffickers are very smart. They're very smart indeed, because they look at where you're at in your stage of life, and they present this PowerPoint to you right in front of you, and they have evidence of proving that you can achieve based on this, and they'll give you examples of other persons who have made it true. And it's not like that. That is where they have deceived you and let you feel that all is well until you arrive. And upon your arrival, you recognize that it's a deception of what you thought you were going to achieve. So pay attention to a lot of things that is taking place. Pay attention to your children. If they are unable to explain the absences from classes and all of that, especially if they're going university, etc. Even once you have children going to university and they're still under your roof, even though they're adults, you can check in every now and then to see what's happening with them. Sometimes when our children start going to university, which is a crucial point at their life, because they're adults, we ignore a lot of things with them. We allow them to go to school on their own time, get up on their own time, come in on their own time because they're over 18. But that is a very crucial point in their life, whether you believe it or not, because it's decision-making time. And if you took 18 years to get them that far, why would you allow somebody to use 18 seconds to take it away from you? You took 18 years to get there. And somebody, a trafficker, is going to use 18 seconds to get them off, because they're going to university, which is a hard task, because you have to be studying, you have to make sure you get balanced the grades, you have to be doing this, and then you at home probably have chores for them still and all of that. And they're exhausted, and then the trafficker come along with this brilliant PowerPoint showing to them that life is worth living. this that they're doing, this university thing, not going to work out, too much stress, and they're already under stress. So this is an easy way out. So I say that to say that when our children are still at the university level, they still need us. We might think that they're adults, but they need us more than if they are teenagers in high school, because this is the stage of their lives where they're going to make some serious decisions, especially boys. Boys. I always say that a mother can't be the father to boys. But if you don't have a father there, try and get somebody where you think might be a father. Because even when they're at university, boys are hard to return when they lost themselves. And that's one of the things that I observe about boys. The girls are easier to get back if you lost them. Because if you lost them to pregnancy, sometimes they find back themselves and fix it. When you lost the boy, men are full of ego, you know. So their ego is what drives them. So when that ego leave them, there's a problem. And to get it back there's a problem. So you never allow that to go. Men are different species from female in terms of thoughts, decision making, and the manner how they look at things. You have to be careful 99.9% of the time what you say to a male. When a female will overlook it, men are sensitive creatures. No matter what you think, they're very sensitive. So when you have your children going to university, boys, pay attention to them. They're at their crucial point where they're going to make some decision that may affect them forever. They're going to make some serious decision at this stage of university. So you have to pay attention to the boys in particular. And I emphasize that because they are the one that is going to be lured into things that, and they may not come back. Once we lose them to a particular trafficker, we may not get back the boys. Most of the time, the females return. It's hard for them. So I ask the fathers to look out for the boys, spend time with them, be their friends. Look out for the boys. Fathers must spend time with their boys. Teach them to be men for the future. Because the female can't teach them, and the traffickers will teach them. Believe me. And the result is not what we expect. Pay attention to them. So overly tired. Pay attention to them. Even though they're going to classes, pay attention if they're overly tired, depressed, brag about making or having lots of money. Pay attention to that. They are not working, but they have a lot of money. Pay attention. Less appropriately dressed than before, or new expensive clothes, accessories, or shoes. Pay attention to that. What are they exploring? Pay attention. They're not working. Even though they are adults, they're still under your roof. You're the one that is paying the university bill. They have tattoos. New tattoos are often used by traffickers as a way to brand victim. So some traffickers have their brand of tattoo that they use on you. It's a form of ownership. It's a form of ownership. So pay attention to their skin. Pay attention to what they're doing at the university level, and watch, because they might tell you that they're over 18 now, but in our books, they're still our children. They're still living under our roof, and you're still paying their bills. So that age not going to work with you right there and then. And it's not going to work with you because you're going to have to help them to make intelligent decisions with themselves. So you have to pay attention. Pay attention to their new friends. with a different lifestyle. You pay attention to the friends that they're keeping now and the lifestyle of their friends. Pay attention to that, because they're not looking for, they're looking at what they can get, which is they're going to pay for in the end. And that's something. Talk about parties that they're going. They'll tell you that they're over 18. They can go anywhere and they can attend. Watch when they return from the party what they look like based on how they left. Smell them. Yeah, smell them and see what's going on with them. It's important. They're adults, but they're at decision making, and we're losing them. We're losing them at the university level because the traffickers most of the time like them at that age. They're a little bit smart in terms of education, so they want them at that age. And they're adults, so in the trafficker mind, they're not taking away any children, but they're our children and they're taking them away in a different form. So they tend to mostly go at the university children to take them away, and they wait. Most of the time they wait until they finish the first year, so they know that the second year no a stress, third year I kill them. So they try to play tricks on their mind at that stage to get them to do what they want to do. The root cause of trafficking are various, and often they differ from one country to another. Trafficking is a complex thing. It's often driven or influenced by social, economic, culture, and other factors. So you have to pay attention. People go into it because they are in need and they see a way where they can get out of this thing. And that is what is happening to our children. And I always refer them to our children because they are, even though they might think they're over 18. Some people can't wait until they reach 18, and I can't wait to go back. So when you're young, you can't wait to get older. When you're older, you can't wait to get younger. And up to now, our children don't understand that growing up is not a degree. It's best to stay little. If I knew what I know now, I would still stay a little bit. Because the responsibility that adult will come with, it might as well you stay as a child. If you knew what that comes with, especially if you start having children, it's best you stay with your mother and don't grow up. I sometimes wish I didn't leave certain age. I stay at 18. So I make decision when I feel like. So that's one of the things that we recognize as it relates to human trafficking. Ask yourself, is it important that you have no skills or qualification? Are you being promised a lot of money, a great gift or other gift, and persons talking to you about work? Are you being chosen because you are young, good looking, or or of a particular sex? Would somebody get travel or identification document for you if you are to go abroad? You will be legal in the country. Ask yourself this question. Are you being urged to lie if you are to travel abroad? Ask yourself these questions and make sure you make the right decision. Be aware, look around. If you are someone you know appears to have been lured, trapped, tricked, threatened, or imprisoned by a stranger, friend, or family member, this could be a case of human trafficking. This is St. Andrews South Beat. We're gonna go. Thank you, Isis, for making it St. Andrews South Beat and Roots 96.1 FM. I am your host, Tanya Lane. See you next week.